After losing New York City to the British, George Washington and the Continental Army are on the run.
I am wearied almost to death with the retrograde motion of things. It is impossible to conduct matters agreeably to public expectation.
After the New York campaign, Washington fell into a pretty deep depression. He was deeply insecure that this was going to work and that he was going to be able to win.
Water, sir? Sir?
Melvin.
Sir?
Washington basically said, I would quit if I could, but people say there's no one to take my place. So we know Washington was at rock bottom.
By December, Washington's army is just weeks away from total collapse. At midnight on January 1st, enlistments for nearly all of his roughly 6,000 remaining soldiers will expire. Washington believes General Howe is waiting until then to make his move.
We have been pushed through the Jerseys. General Howe is now on the other side of the Delaware, and beyond all question means, if possible, to possess himself of Philadelphia. You know the fatal consequences that must attend its loss.
As the British begin to move in December 1776 toward the Delaware River, he knows he's going to need to find some way to convince these few thousand troops that he has left to stay in the field. But words are not going to be enough to make that happen.
It's quite amazing how he just kept going. And he was very good at figuring out, after early defeats, what would produce the most positive result.
If we can do something that's very visible and very symbolic, we might change the mood of the people, and we might find young men returning to our ranks. But time is short.
Some 20 miles from Washington's Bucks County headquarters, Trenton, New Jersey is now General Howe's southernmost outpost, a garrison manned by some 1,500 Hessian mercenaries.
The Hessians were professional soldiers from Germany that the British government had hired to augment their army. They were pros. They were some of the most feared warriors on earth.
Washington proposes a daring attack plan, a nighttime crossing of the Delaware. The army is to move in 3 columns, one as a diversion, another to block the enemy's escape route, and finally, a third, under Washington's command, to march on Trenton.
Billy, get the map. Some of the generals.
He wasn't ready to surrender the cause at that point. It might have been the rational thing to do, but history is made by people occasionally making irrational decisions in the pressure and amid the perils of a given moment.
Christmas Day, at night, 1 hour before day, is the time fixed upon for our attempt on Trenton. For heaven's sake, keep this to yourself, as the discovery of it may prove fatal to us.
You really have 2 choices. You either proceed or the entire enterprise collapses.
The weather is the worst it can possibly be. It's a hurricane in December.
The troops, they're still wearing their summer uniforms. Many of them are barefoot, literally barefoot. Their clothes in rags.
A lot of the soldiers didn't actually know how to swim, and the water was incredibly cold.
This is a nation, this is a people at their worst possible point, pushing on in the desperate hope that they can turn this thing around.
These are the times that try men's souls.
To rally his men for the treacherous crossing, Washington ordered his officers to read aloud the revolutionary words of Thomas Paine, published just days before.
The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of his country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman.
It was really a smart thing to do, because he knew he had to get to the other side. He was secure enough to know that Thomas Paine was a better speaker and a more passionate crafter of the English language. Paine will get them so fired up, they'll walk across the Delaware, they won't even need a boat.
Men, prepare to unload!
But once they get across the river, the clock is ticking.
Took us longer than we expected.
It's a near miracle none of our boats capsized.
Have we lost any cannons?
None.
Washington has coordinated an effort where this will all happen at dawn, but they're late.
When Washington's forces land in New Jersey, it's 3 a.m. They're hours behind schedule and still facing a 9-mile march to Trenton. The plan is to divide into 2 columns 4 miles outside of town, encircle the garrison, and barrage the Hessians with cannon fire before they have time to react.
Keep pushing, men! Bring it forward, men! Bring it forward!
Commanding a critical artillery unit, one of the country's rising stars, a young captain named Alexander Hamilton.
Alexander Hamilton comes to the United States as an immigrant, functionally an orphan, attends King College. He is ambitious.
In some ways, has a lot of similarities to a young Washington. What Hamilton wants from the war more than anything else is a moment to shine on the battlefield so he can earn reputation and honor.
Quickly, on the shore! Form a line! We'll leave in 30 minutes! We're ready, General Washington.
You have done it, sir.
The job is not yet done. The battle is still before us.
Washington doesn't know it yet, but the 2 columns of soldiers due to cross upstream were stopped in their tracks by the brutal conditions. He and his 2,400 men are now on their own.
If they do not win this battle, it's over. So he rallies his men for one last toss of the dice.
The stakes are unimaginably high. The snow is coming down, the wind is whipping. They're freezing, but they have nothing else left. They will either prevail or they will die.
Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph.
General George Washington's daring Delaware River gambit pays off. With his first great battlefield victory of the Revolution. In less than an hour, 22 enemy soldiers are killed, some 900 taken prisoner. Not a single American is lost in the fight.